Aparna and Emem. They are here to discuss about women equality. As I said at the start of our event, ASQ is committed to inclusion and diversity, and we want to be sure that these topics are not only represented at any level, but also giving the stage to professionals that can present their perception of women equality or any other relevant element for everyone to learn and possibly to improve. So quickly, Aparna is an accomplished QHSE profession with extensive experience in integrated management system across multiple standards from 9001 to 14001, GDP, etc. She is a head of a QHSE in her company and leads strategic initiatives in safety leadership, ESG, and business process excellence. She is also a certified Chief Sustainability Officer and an advocate for embedding sustainability and safety into core business practices. Emem, she has been also part of the Great Britain session for as part of our committee. She is a biochemical engineer, accomplished director in her company, currently in Switzerland. Otherwise, possibly she will be again part of our group, our Great Britain section. She has been quite available to be with us together with Aparna. I'm very proud to have both of them together. So I will leave them to lead this next session, and then again, if any of the women in the chat want also to contribute somehow, please put your comment in the chat and we will share all together. So I leave the stage to you, Aparna and Emem. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Giorgio.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone to our session on women and quality leadership. Today, we'll really explore on how quality shapes careers, the challenges women face in leadership, and the future of our profession in a rapidly changing world. I am Aparna, and I'm the head of QHSE, as mentioned, for Gulf in a group of companies. My quality drive or the experience in quality has been for the last 15 years. I'm very passionate about sustainability, ESG, and the process improvement that I lead initiatives based on that. And I embed safety and environmental stewardship into business strategy. My role also includes championing business process excellence, overseeing audits, compliance, executive reporting, while fostering a culture of continuous improvement. I have been able to gather a lot of some of the qualifications as well. I'm a chartered member of IOSH. I'm a certified quality auditor from ASQ, a certified safety professional, principal auditor for 9, 14, 45, and 50,000 standard, a certified risk professional, a Six Sigma green belt and black belt, and a GSQA as internal assessor. And of course, as rightly mentioned, but joining me is Emem. So I'll be moderating the session, of course, and joining Emem as a panelist. So over to you, Emem, for a short introduction.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to join the panel. My name is Emem Ekaette. I'm currently a director for quality engineering with Lonza. I am in the pharmaceutical industry, biopharmaceutical to be precise. I've been in the industry for 18 years. I've worked in different roles within quality management, QA/QC, and I'm currently working as a quality engineer, leading a team out here in Visp, where we are building quite a number of pharmaceutical facilities, so greenfield facilities, doing commissioning and qualification, and that's where I am today. I am a certified quality engineer with ASQ, and I did complete my green belt training as well, which I have found to be very helpful to bring quality tools together with improvement tools to really be able to deliver my job in quality and in engineering. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Emem. That's a lot of experience and a lot of expertise coming out there. As I said, it's just both of us, and we've of course got a lot of listeners to look at what the current topic is. So, from women in quality leadership, that's the topic. So, what unique challenges have you faced in advancing your leadership role within quality, and what helped you overcome them? If you could give a bit of an insight.
Well, being a female has its unique challenges. I think I can start with that and we'll all agree. Being a female leader, even more so, just because there is a natural or innate difference just in gender types and therefore how we lead. So as a leader, I feel that I am more empathetic and that comes just naturally to me. And so my leadership style leans more into the empathetic space. That can be a challenge and is a challenge when working in a male-dominated space such as engineering and CapEx engineering, where the leadership styles of my male colleagues are different. So it's a unique challenge in that way, right? However, perhaps it's one with time that I have gotten used to. It's kind of difficult to say what has helped me, but interacting one-on-one rather than with a group of colleagues does definitely help to have decision making on a level that is more directly with the person rather than with a group of colleagues in a space. Being empathetic as a leader means I lead my team with that in mind. So I'm listening more closely. It might feel like it's taking longer, but when people are listened to, their opinions are taken into account, it really does show in the team performance. So for me, that's something I really hold as being a positive rather than any other indicator you could think of. So that's one challenge, I would say, just, the difference in leadership styles. To be able to advance in quality to where I am today, I found that I needed to step up and take control of my career. That may not be unique, but I just want to point it out because it may not be unique in that we all should be doing that. That's what I want to say, right? But I stepped up and took control of my own career growth, my own career development by ensuring that I took time and self-finance, say my certifications in certified quality engineering. I knew where I wanted to go, and so that has really helped me to gain that knowledge and expertise, of understanding what quality management is as a principle, as a subject matter topic within my industry. If there's anyone on the call who works in the pharma or biopharmaceutical industry, you will have heard of the GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices. It is our go-to point for like quality requirements and quality guidelines. And so it can become really only knowing what GMP is and not stepping out to understand ISO 9001 and understanding the history of ISO 9001 as the basis and how we build that into good engineering practices and how these all come together. And so that is important, and I'd say to anyone, do it. It will really expand your mind on just understanding quality management. I can stop there. I do have another example, but I'll throw it back to you, Aparna.
Thank you, Emem. And it's in fact very right points, because there's a lot to do with driving the cultural change. There's a lot to do with how we can balance with the different things that we face, and of course, being able to influence people and making sure that they follow the right direction. That's really very challenging as well. Okay, and something else if we can think of, and the whole quality week is all about moving into the right direction, into the next level of quality processes. So of course, AI, the hot topic for today, right? And always, I would say, in the recent days. So in terms of AI, what kind of opportunities, risk do you anticipate? Of course, I can add on to that, but first would like to hear your perspective if you've got one.
I have not had much use of AI in my space yet, so I have very little to say on the topic, I'm afraid. Yeah, we've not brought it quite into our industry, nor am I using it on a day-to-day basis, perhaps just for reporting out of our performance metrics, but that's hardly AI, that's just dashboards, and dashboards have existed.
All right. However, from my perspective, I mean, we've got a lot of interaction there. It is really transforming the QHSE practices, wherein through predictive analytics, as we call it, or automated audits, real-time monitoring, because we are a complex environment. We are into port and terminal operations, 3PL, 2PL logistics. There's a lot of machinery and asset management that we have got to do, and predictive analytics is very, very important for that. So we use this quite a lot. And from my experience or my encounter with having AI-enabled systems, it includes opportunities such as reducing incidents through the measures in place that we put, and of course involving more and improving our compliance levels, enabling a proactive risk management, I would say. So the risk, of course, involves data security or algorithm bias or our reliance on technology, because it is a fact that future lies in balancing AI with the human judgment, right, for ethical and effective outcomes. Because will AI ever be able to replace human? I think that's another hot question that comes up in every panel discussion that we go. It will not, is my opinion. That's my personal opinion, because at the end of the day, we do have that human element, that ethics that needs to come into place. And I'm sure that's where we get an upper hand on how we use AI for the benefit of things, and we draw a line as to what and how they should be contributing to the overall performance of the system.
Yep.
Very, very, of course, women in quality, a very soft topic. So what would be your advice? Of course, you've been 18 years in the industry, and a lot of challenges, as you said, you must have faced. And of course, you've been to the level that you are. So what's your advice to the young women entering the quality profession today to help them thrive and lead in a rapidly changing global environment?
My advice to everyone, and not just the females, is the same thing. Take control of your career, identify what is within your control, and do that. I found that approach has worked for me, in that when I started my career, it was a kind of, oh, where do you want to go in 5 years? And then 5 years seemed so far, and I hadn't quite figured out today, or 1 year or 2. And so my advice is, know where you want to go in 5 years, but put actions in today, right? Know what you want to do today. And when you know what you want to do today, you then look at what you can do by yourself, i.e. what is within your control and not so much dependent on somebody else. And if it is fully in your control and you can do that, do it. So you're owning your own career growth. And it's very, very important, because there is a general sense that, oh, a manager is supposed to take care of me. Don't do that, right?
Yeah.
If you're in control of things, you are showing up for your manager and saying, I'm ready to do this, and this is where I am going. That's one. You're acquiring skills that mean you're taking up additional challenges and really showcasing yourself when you do those skills. And therefore, your manager is looking at you and going, oh, I can rely on this person, and I can, put this person's name forward for the next challenge or opportunity that comes up in the company. So that's my advice, really owning one's career. The second one might feel, so I'm giving that advice to everyone, because male or female, I think that applies throughout. And there will always be bias, because this is human nature. So there is bias in the workplace. We all have to be aware of our biases. And so as you're aware of your bias, you become more conscious of it, and you're working on it. And you will maybe be on a receiving end. Try not to let it hold you back. In that, if you see bias, that is not your responsibility. Yeah, it's that person's responsibility. Your responsibility is how you react to it. Okay? And if you decide that your reaction is one that is going to elevate you past it, you are able to deal with that emotional space in a more constructive manner, rather than allowing it to hold you down. So
absolutely,
that would be my second piece, because as for trying to fix everyone else's bias, that's too much of a responsibility to try and take on yourself. And and if you go into that, you could spiral down in a very negative way. And if you get into that negative space, then you're not really well, I feel that it doesn't mean you shouldn't say something about it to E&C board or report it. What I'm saying is, do that, but move ahead anyway, right? Don't let it hold you back. It is not your, it's the philosophy that I go with is my responsibility, and what I can do, I do. And then the other one, it's not my responsibility to fix the world. That is for them to try and be aware, work on it, and progress.
Absolutely. Well, very well said. And in fact, being a woman in the leadership role, I would say from my own experience, to the young women out there is that they need to embrace continuous learning and adaptability. This is something which I have done. I have really, done that, and that's why I've been able to do and I'm able to be where I am, because these are the cornerstones, right, of success in quality leadership. I mean, technical expertise is essential. Of course, everybody should have a great, subject matter expertise when it comes to QHSE, as we call it, but that's not the only part of the education. We need to invest in developing that leadership qualities, the communication, and the strategic thinking skills, because influencing, I believe, change often, influencing change often depends on how well you connect with people and articulate those values. One other thing which I have personally done, and I would again, advise the young people, is that we need to seek out for mentors and role models who can guide us through complex challenges and actively build our network, because that really helps. And in this part of the world, especially now, when we've got all these forums in place and all these organizations in place, there's a lot of mentorship that's available, and to give us that one direction as to where we should be, and a bit of a insight into what the profession is all about. Because many of the times what we come across individuals is that they land themselves into the world of QHSE by chance, and then they decided to pursue it by choice. So collaboration, I believe, opens a lot of doors to new perspectives and opportunities. So nobody should be shying away, as you mentioned. Nobody should be shying away from opportunities or challenging projects, thinking that, oh, that's not for me, or I'm a woman, or I shouldn't be doing that. They should consider that as a best platforms, right?
That should be the reason to do it.
Yeah, that should be the reason to do it, because that's the best platform where they can demonstrate the resilience, the innovation, and the problem solving ability. Of course, we are known to be more resilient, and we are able to manage those things. Because I also think that quality is no longer just about compliance, right? It's about driving the business excellence and sustainability.
It's absolutely about that.
And there's a lot of landscape evolving around those points, where in digital transformation, all these jargons of ESG priorities and customer centric models, these things are gaining a lot of importance. So when we have a lot of knowledge about this, and we combine those deep knowledge with our education and learning, and then bring that into an agility and growth mindset, I think that will adapt to lead the transformation, and that will really give them a breakthrough as to what they should be and how they should be. So they should have a direction, and then not take a step back thinking, oh, that's not for me, but go forward to say that that is for me. Because we all know that it's a very male dominated field, but women are no less to handle the pressure that it is available in this industry, right? Great. That's a good, yeah.
I'd like to just mention a book that I read, Lean In, by what's the author again? Sheryl Sandberg. It's written by a woman who has been in tech and has been a leader in tech. It's a good book to have a read on, because she really talks about her own challenges there. And in general, just in addition to that book, read up about leadership and leadership styles. There's a lot out there, starting with why, understanding your purpose, etc. So I just want to add that, and continue to learn. It's kind of one of the things that is within your direct ability to do, and no one can stop a person from doing that.
Absolutely.
And talking about just taking on opportunities, the other thing that I have learned is not to go for a job because you know how to do 100% of everything that has been put on the job advert. That Absolutely. You should never do. If you already know how to do all of it, why do you want the opportunity? Aim for something that you know some and you don't know others, because then you have that space for growth. And it's a good point to raise, because females, we have a natural tendency to want to know and be sure we can do all of it before we step in. But that means that we're holding ourselves back. So actively say, I can do, I don't remember what percentage now, but look for whatever percentage, but there must be something you're going into a new role to take on when searching for new opportunities and career.
Absolutely. And connecting to that question, Emma, what's been your personal experience in getting those mentorship opportunities? Did you have any core mentors who helped you with things? Or of course, you've been 18 years in the industry now, but I'm sure in the early years there should have been, or there could have been somebody who must have influenced you.
I definitely did. I did not start my career knowing about quality engineering, for example. I started knowing about QA and just reviewing and approving batch records. And then it took a bit of time before, it's just the industry. Biopharmaceuticals, we're making drugs, we're putting it in a vial, it's QA, QC. And as time went on, I met an individual who was a quality engineer and advised me to do the certification, and took the time to really speak to me about what quality engineering as a knowledge, once I did it, what I could then apply to the statistical evaluations and analysis, or just into the CapEx space. And my background, I studied biochemical engineering. So it was really a happy space for me to find that quality which I started with can now join up with engineering, and I can really become that, apply my technical knowledge. So I've had that mentor who has really impacted me and helped me get off to just, doing what I needed to do to then turn things around at some time in my career. I've met other mentors along the way. I've always found that mentors are very helpful to come to in a position of, I don't know what to do. Sometimes I don't know what to do, but these are my options, right? And then you get the advice rather than the opposite of just tell me what to do. So coming up and saying, this is what I'm working on, I'm looking at this direction, da 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 da. Later on in life, in my career, I found that I was more in that type of space and relationship with my mentors. And it was, yeah. I've met a mentor as the head of engineering who definitely helped me, in the guidance. I've met a mentor in a professional body, the Institution of Chemical Engineers, who also mentored me on how to bring the experience I've had into a direction for chartership. And so mentors come and go, and it's really always is good to keep in touch, but always understand that as you grow and progress, you will find a need a different type or another type of mentor to add to your collection. Yeah, I owe my growth to a number of people. Thanks for reminding me.
Absolutely. I think, I mean, it's a topic that we can discuss on, and have more diverse perspectives and viewpoint into it. But of course, we should be mindful of the time, as well as some questions that's coming in the chat. So I'll try and pick up the questions from the chat from the time we've started our discussion. So yes, we've got, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. It's Asoli, if I'm not mistaken, who's asked a question on how can we use our qualities as women to foster a culture that supports successful digital transformation or internal audit implementation or AI implementation, I would say, especially since the human element is at the core of any significant improvement and changes. Would you want to do this question, Emem, or you want me to handle it?
I think this might be you, Aparna.
Yeah,
I mean, it's AI.
It's AI. I mean, from my perspective, as I was mentioning earlier, women, we bring a unique quality that can significantly foster a culture supportive or digital transformation or intelligent automation. I think IA would be intelligent automation. And various factors that help or contribute or are the key drivers for that. One being, let's say, empathy and human-centric leadership. Digital transformation, I think it often fails when people feel disconnected, right, or threatened. But women leaders, as you were mentioning from your own thing, we tend to emphasize empathy and inclusion, ensuring that technology and adoption, we address the human concerns. I think this creates a lot of trust and reduces resistance to change. What do you think? Because AI or intelligent automation is great, but there's always that human element that needs to be taken care of. And I think women have a better way of looking at things when it comes to understanding that empathy and inclusion feeling that we need to give. What do you think, Emma?
I agree. But I don't have any more to add to that. So let's take another question.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point. I mean, and again, during my interaction when we were automating on especially working closely with the AI or digital transformation. The other thing which I believe is one of the key drivers, again, having a collaborative approach. We tend to include everyone cross-functionally. We don't have problems reaching out to people. We have an excellent way of building consensus, I would say, and nurturing relationships, which really helps break silos and align stakeholders toward common goals. Because yes, we need to achieve the goal of getting everything into a digital transformation, but we do have that collaborative approach that we focus being women, and I think we have a much better way of doing that. And probably from the lines of, I would say, communication, we have a very clear, transparent communication skill, and we are able to do that even during critical times, whether it be transformation, because we as leaders often prioritize dialogue and active listening, right? Making it easier to help why we have to do this change, what goes behind it, how can we engage the teams, how can we make them feel valued and not under the threat of losing the job. Because technology improves the work culture and gives us the output and the productivity that we're looking for, but it is not taking away the jobs. It still require expertise and that human touch as we need it. And I think we can go on and on that, because there's a lot to deal with, like the adaptability. We are able to change depending on the situations. We have a better way of handling rapid shifts, I would think. Whatever be the momentum of the process that we are handling, but we can always challenge or accept challenges and adapt to those challenges at a better pace. We've got the ability to do that, and there's a lot of ethical considerations that goes into our thoughts when it comes to processes and changes, because women leaders, I believe, often advocate fairness and diversity, ensuring technology benefits all of the required and it avoids the bias, but we do have that human touch to where we are able to bring in the diversity element into it. So I think that's
you forgot the ability to multitask.
Yes. I think we can do a better job there than anybody else.
I found that it's definitely in a leadership team that the balance, of having females in there as well as having other genders helps the businesses. I think we all agree to move forward with different perspectives, strengths, and that kind of thing. So it's what everyone is talking about, right? How do we become more equal or equality in like quantities and numbers? It's not just for the statistical reasons. It's because of the diversity that comes with it in skills, and soft skills, whatever skills, knowledge, and just natural strengths. So that's
Absolutely.
the future.
Yeah, because of course I remember that Nancy started the presentation with the thought of empathy at the top of leadership quality, and we are the embodiment of that quality or the value, because we are able to do that and make sure that everybody, when in a forum, we make sure that everybody feels comfortable, everybody is able to get those challenges addressed in the same manner, and we have a special skill in managing that better than anybody else, I would think. Yeah, and of course there are some other comments in the chat, but of course somebody's here correlating to your experience, and I'm saying that I can easily correlate myself and my experience to what Emem has gone through and in the last 20 years. And somebody's asked you a name of book. Okay, you've already addressed the question. I think to wrap it up, it's to that career growth, it's to that challenges, it's to that inclusivity, it's to that leadership, that we look forward to, and women are required to be there without a second thought. Take that as a challenge, take it as a requirement, and make sure that we don't feel that we need to be on the second stage, and we should always be leading it from the forefront, right? So what's your closing thought, if you want to wrap it up, the session on women encouraging women in quality?
My closing thought as a female is that I don't take an opportunity thinking I'm a female. I take an opportunity going, I'm a professional and I've got this, right? And so I know that it's different approaches. I am well aware that I have my gender, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't let it stop me. I don't let it kind of, I know I'm representing my gender out there, but I really look at it and I go, I can do this. I mean, that person can do it, I can do it. So that's my closing thoughts to you.
Or to say that, there's nothing that I can't do, right?
Right. It's education, it's knowledge, it's professional industries, exposure. We've all got it. Go for it. You know, it doesn't stop anyone, the gender.
Absolutely. And in fact, just to add my perspective to it is that quality is a leadership enabler, right? And we have the opportunity to be able to engage with, organizations like ASQ, where we can share our experience, build that visibility.
You're actually very right. Quality management is part of like business management training.
Yeah.
So the minute you have been able to master quality management, because you then are really showing data and showing the database reasons for improvements, that's leadership. That's really
Absolutely.
showing
And
efficiencies and costs. It is absolutely
yes, of course, of course. And I think the exposure that we can get from inside and the outside of our organization will really help us accelerate our growth. Because um, to close it up, women in quality, I believe, have a unique opportunity to shape the future of business excellence. We should be using our opportunities, platforms like ASQ globally to connect with people, learn the best practices and showcase our expertise. Because the more we engage, I believe the more impact we create. And that's why we are all here. When, as a head of QHSE, my role spans on ensuring compliance with ISO standards or driving continuous improvement. And quality has been the foundation of my career. It helped me lead, change, influence culture, and create that sustainable impact, and to be able to deliver what I'm doing right now. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great platform. And it's a great journey, and we just have to be managing it with confidence. Brilliant. I think it was a great a few minutes discussion, just to open up our hearts and to see where we are, and how we want to do it. And of course, there are some comments coming in through the chat as well. But yeah, all of them cheering for the fact that yes, there's a lot to achieve and there's a lot to go, and we are ready for it. Brilliant. With that, I believe we can wrap up the session. Over to you, Giorgio, if you're online. I cannot see you actually in
Of
my
course,
chat.
I am online. I didn't want to
There you
disturb
are.
because I was enjoying so much the conversation.
I hope we
It
didn't bore
was
you.
very, very good also because two women with so much diverse background in terms of country visited, country of origin, profession, work experience. There was so much at stake that just two people fill in the room in a great way. Thank you very much for sharing all this. I saw that Bitsam has been quite complimental also with what you have presented. You can see the message in the chat. And I don't know how to wrap up better than how you did, so I don't want to add anything. I'm just proud that our past director was Nancy, that has been in her role, and also at the ASQ director board for years. So in a way, it's also an evidence that ASQ can offer to whoever want to achieve more the possibility to go. We are not here to distinguish between genders, as someone wrote, being women, being professional before being women in your case. And in general, we are professionals, so we don't have to distinguish by anything else than being committed to quality and to our work. And I think you have shown that in a very great way. So thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Georgia. And as we said, we appreciate the support, we appreciate the acceptance and recognition that we get, because even for the recent election, I've been given the opportunity to be elected as a secretary. That just shows that you walk the talk and you lead by example. So humbled to be here. Thank you very much.